Hello, everybody. I'm Hugo, and welcome to Memory Card. This is the first episode in what I hope turns into a long series where we reach out to the Pressing Buttons community and fellow gamers to get to know each other. With every Memory Card episode, we will have one of our community member answer 5 questions that will give us a little insight into what they love about playing video games. Let's go. First question is, what's the story behind your gamer handle? Well, my gamer handle is Platanero. For those that don't know, it basically translates to plantain man. The reason I got this gamer handle is a friend of mine that I used to live with back in my early 20s. He had an Xbox 360 at the time, and that was his gamer tag, and he didn't really use it. I played a lot more on his Xbox 360 than anybody else did. Because he wasn't really a gamer. He mostly just got it because it had like HD DVD or whatever it was called. I forget the name of the DVD thing at the time. And then ultimately, after I got my own place and I lived by myself, I was able to get my own Xbox. And since he didn't use the gamer tag, I kind of stole it from him. I feel a little bit bad, but everybody kind of already knew me as Platanero, and it kind of stuck, and I think it's a great name. And it stuck for the years, and I love it. And everybody knows me by that name, so it's pretty cool. That's how I got that. As for why do I enjoy playing video games? Well, I think video games kind of gives us these fantasies where we can go into these worlds, do these things, and do things that aren't possible in the real world, or just that your imagination opens up. I like how different studios do different things, whether it's a first-person shooter, a third-person action adventure game, a puzzle game, an RTS, anything like that. I feel like video games are the purest form of media, in a sense where you can have the player kind of immerse themselves in the world. It's tough to do. I think the only thing that comes closest to that, I would say, would be movies and TV shows. But with video games, you actually kind of control everything. So I think that's what I enjoy the most about video games, that you're able to kind of immerse yourself in these worlds, and it does feel like it's you doing all these things, because it is you doing all these things. What game would you recommend and why? That's a tough question to ask. I think it's also a tough answer to give, just because a lot of video games are different. What games I like might not be the same games that you like, or might be better recommended to you. But if somebody asked me like what game I would recommend, even if it's difficult or whatever it is, to get them to play it and understand how I feel about video games, I think I would let them know to play The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. I think, at least for me, that was like my initial gateway into video games. I love Link as a character. I love the world of Zelda and all its characters, with Zelda as well, and Ganondorf. And it just kind of opened up video games for me, in a sense of like, this is an amazing world. I want to play more of it. I want to live more in it. And I want to be able to feel that fantasy of Link being a hero. And Hyrule is a great setting. I think it works so well. It's such a lively, colorful video game, but also it's got its dark side with Ganon and his magic. So I think Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past would be like my number one go-to recommended game, no matter what age you are, or what type of genre of video games you like. I think it suits everybody. What is your greatest video game achievement? My greatest video game achievement is actually from Call of Duty 4, the original Modern Warfare. I think a lot of people already know this story, but they had an achievement called Mile High Club, where at the end of the game, you were going through the Air Force One to rescue the president that was being held hostage, and you had to do it under a minute. It's a very tough achievement to accomplish. You got to go through, do things at a certain time, throw grenades at a certain time, shoot certain enemies at certain times, and ultimately give a headshot to a bad guy that's got the president held hostage. So I think it was very tough, but I was able to get through it. I still got it on my Xbox bio, which is pretty funny. But I enjoyed it. It tested my skills as a gamer and was really fun to do. It wasn't frustrating enough where I gave up, but it definitely took me a bit of time to accomplish. Who's your favorite video game character and why? That's a tough one. Like I said, I have so many video game characters that I love and enjoy playing as, and just listening to their story and and kind of immersing myself in their world. Besides Link, which I think is a great character, with all his iterations, whether it's the Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Switch, Wii, all his games I think are fantastic. But in terms of personality, I don't think he gives too much because he is at the end of the day a silent protagonist. I think I would say Kratos. I played a lot of the God of War, the original one, and the new ones that were released, and ultimately I think Kratos' story is a story of transformation, how he went from this person that kind of lost everything and didn't care about the world and just wanted to go around murdering people, to now in this new iteration with the newer God of War games, into a father that wants to protect his son and just be, a gentle family man, which he kind of abandoned long before. I think his story arc is a great example of what video game characters can show you and can go through, that can endear you to them to a very big extent. I mean, these characters are iconic, and I think when you stick with one, when you find that one that you like, that resonates with you, or you like what they've been through and you can identify with them to a certain extent, I think that helps the character's story resonate with you more, and you enjoy the video games more. So I think Kratos is a great example of that, and it can show you how, along with the times, video game characters can change and be made better or different to a new generation, which I think is what's happened here. All right, so that does it for the first episode of Memory Card. Thanks for tuning in. Be on the lookout for future episodes from our community members. I'm Hugo. Bye.